A bored Doc Ock is saved from the ramblings of his professor when he receives an urgent call from Jameson's office. A morose Jonah entrusts Spider-Man with overseeing the security on the raft during the execution of Alistair Smith, aka the Spider Slayer, a villain that killed Jonah's wife Marla. The superior Spider-Man agrees to help and begins preparations right away. A veritable horde of Spider-Bots make their way over to the raft where they begin making modifications according to Doc's designs. The raft is in the process of being decommissioned with many of the villains being shipped away, and by the time of the execution only a handful remain, including the Vulture, Boomerang, and Scorpion, who are still recovering from Doc's vicious beatdowns. During the execution, Spider Slayers predictably emerge from the vents, prematurely interrupting the proceedings. Smith tries to escape, but Doc is ready. He has reinforced the raft's walls, put lasers in the vents, and trapped the grates. A baffled and desperate Spider Slayer turns to his last resort. His cybernetic Spider Slayers infuse with the injured villains, rejuvenating them. With enhanced bodies and a mind for revenge, round 2 against the superior Spider-Man begins next issue.
So it looks like there's about to be a massive riot at the raft, which I guess is nothing new for a prison like that.
I found it so ridiculous that in that last scene, the 3 villains, after being affected by these Spider Slayer bots, they get all their armor and gear back.
And
what?
All their ailments are instantly cured.
Are they part machine now? What is this?
And if Spider Slayer had controlled these bots the entire time, why did he wait till that exact moment when Spider-Man is right there to stop him?
When security has been beefed so much?
Yeah. I mean, maybe he'll make a play for Mayor Jameson or something like that, but...
Well, in this issue, he seemed to be completely preoccupied with just escaping. And Jameson and everyone else seemed to be an afterthought. So, that's a very good question. Why wait?
It was very cool that Spider-Man was actually at the execution, and while he's watching, there's a great line where he's talking to Nora Winters. A lifelong killer, a murderer, doesn't suddenly become a different, and then he stops himself because he realizes not only is he describing Spider Slayer, he's describing himself.
Though I don't think he's going to actually show him mercy because of this slight connection between himself and the Spider Slayer.
So you think he's going to take matters in his own hands and execute Spider Slayer?
I could see it happening, but I don't know how many villains Slott can just kill off. Even the 3 rejuvenated villains, I don't know if Spider-Man is going to act as the executioner for them as well.
If an entire prison riot breaks out and there's prisoners all over, superpowered criminals all over the place, I don't know if even the superior Spider-Man can take him on his own.
We have to keep in mind that a lot of the villains have been already moved out of the raft, so the ones that remain may only be a handful.
I was actually thinking there's a chance that he might ally with some of them if things get too out of control. Perhaps Connors, maybe, because he seems to be good from almost the very end of Amazing Spider-Man. And Peter in Doc Ock's body did tell him some things. Also on the raft, though, I really liked the warden asking Mayor Jameson if he got his resume. Apparently making a play at another job, and then Jameson's like, there's no way I'm gonna hire you. You have the most prison breaks.
The guy just got put into a dead-end job, and
yeah.
Now he's suffering. I thought the most telling line in this issue was actually probably one of the shortest, where Spider-Man's preparing himself to go to the raft. He says to the effect of, I will be free. But 2 issues earlier, at the end of issue 9, when he gets rid of this Peter consciousness, he says, I am free. And I think that's very telling of Doc as a character, because he seems now sort of unsatisfied with Peter's life. He says he's trapped in a way.
Yeah, he blames Peter's relationship with his friends and family and his job as walls trapping him in. And if he truly wants to be free, he's going to have to eliminate those almost, which I don't know if that means getting fired from Horizon or...
He's going to have to change it such that he's living his own life now. And he's already moving in that direction because he's got the new girlfriend, he's getting the doctorate that he wants, and obviously he's fighting crime the way he wants.
I think what's going to be important is I think he will actually eventually break down these walls. He won't work at Horizon anymore because it looks like he's about to get fired. I mean, he's already sort of on the outs with the superhero community, the Avengers. But I think once he tears them down, he'll realize his life is going to be empty without them. And I think he'll realize that Peter actually wasn't restricted by these walls. He was actually empowered by his friends and family. And
supported by them.
That's where he drew his strength from. And I don't think Doc is going to realize that until he's lost it.
Doc's major problem when it comes to just analyzing his life is that he's way too arrogant and that does make him a character I'd like to read. But the saying goes, pride comes before the fall. And I think until Doc gains some sort of humility, he's not going to really enjoy or be at peace with his life.
I was actually a little bit surprised in this issue that we didn't see any of Green Goblin, or the Goblin King as he's known now.
Yeah, very surprising. And I think Slott is going to set it up such that the Goblin King is going to be the final showdown for the Superior Spider-Man. And we're only going to get glimpses of the story building in the background of all these other storylines. And it's going to allow that final showdown to be very climactic.
I mean, it was actually very similar with Doc Ock's final showdown with Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man. Like, that had actually been building for years because Doc had been dying for such a long time.
So, as a grade for Superior Spider-Man number 11, what would you give it?
I'm going to give the issue a 3.5 out of 5. I'm really hoping this Spider Slayer storyline doesn't just turn into a repeat of the Massacre storyline where Peter's forced to kill him and is, maybe moving away from good.
I'd give this issue a 3 out of 5. It really built on some good themes, but it really did not leave me with any lasting impression.
So thanks for watching B3 Comics review of Superior Spider-Man number 11. Before we go, we got a question for you guys.
What would be the most satisfying way for Doc Ock to be taught some humility?
Leave your answer below in the comments, and if you like our video, give us a thumbs up. Thanks.